Alright everyone, there has been an outbreak of legacy media articles talking about how young people, teenagers mainly, on like TikTok and YouTube and places like that, are supporting Luigi Mangione and saying, well, he was justified, he killed a corporate executive, ha ha ha, and saying that they like him. It probably doesn't help that he got cleaned up in jail and so now he actually looks presentable. I have a feeling that some of it is like teenage girl crushes and bullshit like that. I am not worried in the least about this. When the legacy media, or when commentators say, well, that's ghoulish and evil and terrible and wrong, I can only remember the 2000s when there were a bunch of people that were swooning over Charles Manson and stuff like that. Did this ever actually lead to additional violence? No. What leads to additional violence is the legacy media constantly harping on these issues, giving these people undue attention. Oh, you murdered 17 school kids? Let's make you front page. And we'll make you front page tomorrow too, kid. You know, you did well. Basically like driving up the score or something like that. That's what causes problems. The kids are alright. They're gonna get over it, by and large. Some of them, yeah, they're gonna end up messed up. Just like some millennials ended up messed up. Well, I mean, we all did, but, you know, in different ways. I'm not worried about Luigi Mangione inspiring another spree killer or something like that. I'm simply not worried about it because we've seen this before. We saw it even 100 fucking years ago. We see it with like Bonnie and Clyde and stuff like that. It didn't cause the average person to actually pick up a Tommy gun and go on a rampage. This is a perpetual social mythology, which is that someone with even reasonable charisma releasing a manifesto and killing somebody all of a sudden inspires secondary violence. But it's a mythology. It's not real. It's never actually really happening. Ted Kaczynski with the Unibombing. I think the closest thing that you could say to this being real would be D.B. Cooper, actually, Dan Cooper. There was an outbreak of attempted hijackings after that. I suppose that would be the only thing that counts. But we're not talking about violent crime. We're talking about significant crime, but not necessarily violent crime. With regards to people that kill others, it typically, I mean, the idea that Mangione is going to inspire some sort of leftoid revolution among the youth against corporate executives is going to be false. It will not actually happen. Most people don't have the balls to engage in that sort of crime. If they did have the balls, most of them are sane enough so they know it's not a good idea and they're throwing their life away. So it just doesn't happen. Occasionally you get somebody who goes off the deep end and for some reason, might be personal, might be political, might be social, whatever the hell, religious, whatever the hell it happens to be, pops off and kills somebody or kills a group of people. We see this notably in one certain religion that shall not be named for YouTube censorship purposes, but there was an attack in Germany at a Christmas market only 2 days ago in which at least, I believe at last count, 5 people were dead and several hundred were injured. That's about the only exception to this. So I'm not worried about kids, on TikTok talking about how Luigi Mangione was a good guy or something like that. It does not worry me. They're not going to follow in his footsteps. They're going to fall in lockstep generally with society and become fucking boring and stale and become part of the establishment more than anything else. That's sort of just the way that it works. People get older and they tend to mature, as though that's a good thing, by the way. I'd rather them be making their Luigi Mangione videos on TikTok, honestly. It'd be a better world, probably, if people were a little bit more edgy. And that's the other part of it. Some of it is literally just clout-seeking. Some of it is literally just to be edgy. Ha ha ha, I'm going to adulate this serial killer. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, I'm going to adulate this person that shot the corporate CEO. Ha ha, yeah, shoot the CEOs. But they're not picking up a gun now, are they? Never seems to happen. I wonder fucking why. Because most people are actually sane. A lot of these people are simply just trying to be edgy. We're millennials, by and large. If you're a part of my audience, there's a good chance that you're between the ages of 25 and 40. Were we not being edgy on the early wave internet, a decade ago? Back before it got heavily censored? Oh, we were posting all sorts of crazy shit. I know that I did. I had a blog at one point, and I wish that I'd archived it, by the way, solely dedicated to trolling a friggin' chat room. Well, chat site, ICQ. I had an entire blog where I had a sort of fanfic mythology about all of the users and all the weird shit that they would do, and documented as much as possible of them being trolled. It's weird shit. It's also a little bit cringe, admittedly. Although I noticed that once my subscriber count started skyrocketing, they seem to have started to get awfully worried about my ability to raid their rooms. And I did, thousands of times actually. It's a little bit cringe, but it's the sort of thing that young people engage in. Teenagers and college kids and stuff like that. They get edgy, and they say weird shit. Ha ha ha, Charles Manson was such a great guy. Ha ha, this is great. Don't worry about them. They'll be perfectly fine. When the legacy media spurgs out about something and acts like it's, going to be a huge, terrible problem, it's probably all right. It's when they don't talk about something that you know something is terribly wrong, because they confer with the powers that be within the Uniparty. So when they don't want to talk too much more about the drones, because, your eyes are deceiving you and don't worry about it, there's nothing going on here, then I begin to get a little bit paranoid. But if the legacy media canvasses something like this, it clearly doing a moral panic thing and saying, oh my god, thousands of kids are praising this shooter. Who gives a fuck? They're the youth. Who cares? They've been doing this for over 100 years. This has always been a thing. It's been a thing since before anyone watching this video was born. The kids are all right. Just let them be edgy, Just ignore it. That's about all. Peace out.